My apologies, we changed the meeting time this evening because there were a bunch of us that, working at the polls, had to have a security meeting. But I'd like to welcome each and every one of you to our October 22nd meeting of the Tricentennial Committee. We've got half a group here tonight. We've got a lot of people. We've got a lot of interest. And our funds have been created so we'll be able to pay all of our bills at the end. And we thank all of our sponsors. A special thank you to ECAT, Easton Community Access Television, for bringing this meeting to the living rooms of all of our residents here in the town of Easton. I'd also like to thank you again, Joan, for hosting the meeting. It's important to have one of our historic buildings as one of our meeting places. But I got to tell you, as I roam around town, some people lock their doors when they see me coming. Yeah. But I got to tell you, there's a lot of excitement in the air. Here we are 2.5 months away from a giant celebration here in the town of Easton. We get the opportunity, and I say this to folks at home, to celebrate the history of the town of Easton. 300 years, can you believe it? 1725 to 2025. And this is a community that's opened up their doors, they've opened up their hearts, they've opened up their wallets, and they've contributed to what the expenses will be to make a celebration like this work. I'm forever grateful to all the volunteers. We started with 10, we went to 12 with our honorary co-chairs. We have coordinators for each event. We multiply up to about 40 plus, it'll be 50. And then folks, it's going to be 100 volunteers with all the folks that join all the events. As I said many times, it takes 30 people just to run a parade. It takes 30 people to hold a giant flag, and we got 2 giant flags. That's 60 people just on our Flag Day ceremony. As you take a look at the schedule, we have an insert that eventually is going to go into our main brochure. That insert is going to involve other events that are being created, that are already on the schedule. I'm talking about the Antique Car Show. I'm talking about the Family Fun Day, Easton 300 at Langwater Farms. We have some people here tonight that want to talk about the possibility of a bike race. Dale's going to talk about saluting the schedule will take place in 2025 on New Year's Eve of 2024. So we have a bunch of things that are happening. I just wanted to share the spirit with you. And I know that it was hard in the beginning. As Dale and I talked, we got together in early 2023. And the big question was, what are we going to do? Who are we going to get involved? How are we going to pay for a giant celebration? And now we can sit here and say, we're almost there, folks. We got 3 months to go. We have a lot more work to do. And we say to our viewing audience out there on ECAT, Easton Community Access Television, that we need your support. You can still make donations. We have 130 banners that are going to go up in the town of Easton, old banners. And we thought way back when that we may have 60 banners. Now we're up to 130. And you've probably seen the posters around town. You can't miss the orange posters. And so there's excitement in the air. We got some special guests that have joined us this evening. And I think the best thing we can do is to go around the room. Some of us know each other. But I think our viewing audience would like to know who's at this meeting. So I'm going to start with you, Adam. If you would introduce yourself and tell us what role that you're playing.
Hello everyone, my name is Adam Gard, and I am overseeing the Flag Day on June 14, 2025.
Thank you. Al?
My name is Al Provo, and I'm working the parade and getting several pieces to go on in the parade.
Thank you, Al, for your energy and your personality. Why don't you introduce the three guests that join you this evening? I'll start with our bike guy.
Okay, my name is Jack Mowat, and I'm the coordinator for the Easton Tricentennial Grand Prix, which you can change the name if you want.
Sounds cool.
It's a bike race that will be, the event will take place at the complex.
Well, we went to that a little later because we got to get the committee, of course, to hear what you have to say before they officially vote on it. Next gentleman.
Jonathan Delpoli from Swansea Velo Club. I'm here to support Jack and hold a bike race for you guys. Done several.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lee Thompson. I live on Bay Road. This is my first night here. I want to do whatever I can to help.
Awesome, thank you.
We need a couple of rooms that need to be painted. And our next guest, I'm going to introduce her. Her name is Courtney Pond. She's the marketing VP at Northeast Savings Bank. And she was one of the first places that we visited to get a donation along with the Bank of Easton. And we thank you so much. And I know our banks in town have been so cooperative and so generous. And Courtney, you're going to be sponsoring the Art and Cultural Festival that both Joan and Diane are very much involved with. So we thank you so much for being here.
Of course, we're happy to support and be involved, yeah.
And we'll give you a chance to speak a little later. Go ahead, Diane.
Oh, who am I? Diane Lusardi, Secretary.
Rosalind Miller, Secretary of the committee and of the parade committee.
Ken Wood, I'm on the parade committee and also manpower.
And he's the guy that put all these orange signs up, most of them.
The Phantom.
Carries a hammer around with him. But anyways, and our next guest.
Greg Davidson, I'm the Director of Special Services for the Easton Public Schools.
We thank you so much for joining us this evening. And our host, Joan.
Joan Lundgren, I'm doing the Arts and Cultural Festival in April along with Diane Lusardi.
I'm Ann Hurley. I am the co-chair of the kickoff, the gala, and the merch.
Is there anything else you'd like to do?
I also bake before the meeting.
Yes,
so
she
there's
does.
She's that cookie lady.
And there are pens. I brought promo pens over there.
These are beautiful.
Save pen.
Oh, look at
The
the promo. They have logo.
And our next person is the vice chair. He is the guy that probably ate the most cookies at our meeting.
Been called out on that one, aren't I? Dale Carrister, in addition to serving as the vice chair, I'm also taking the lead on the reach out to all our community organizations around town. I'll talk a little bit about that later. And yes, I am one of the chief consumers of this. We are the best committee in town. No other committee has freshly baked goods like we do here. And I'm also an avid bicyclist. I do the MS ride every year, so count me in for the ride. You guys are coming. That'll be awesome.
And our treasurer for the celebration.
I'm Jeanette Kamara, and as Dave said, I am the treasurer for the committee. Anne Marie Taylor, I am co-chairing with Amanda merchandise, the gala, and the kickoff event.
Karen Hessel, I'm a volunteer that helps out with various committees.
I'm Sally Sussman, and I'm helping Dale out with the reach out and working on the calendar and helping out with the website.
And And that community calendar is going to be very important, and we thank you, Sally and Dale, for taking that responsibility on. I could see that in our anniversary book at the end of our celebration. And Brian, while you're making your way up to your seat that we have with your name tag, come on up here with us.
I can't hide the birthday.
I did want to say that
Hey, Brian.
Brian is he's the guy that hosts our TV show. We have a TV show that goes on once a month, as most of you are aware of. We've been talking about the celebration since 2023, once a month with different guests. And we're going to be talking about the show and, of course, getting a lot of residents on the air with us throughout the entire 2025. So again, we thank you, Brian. And maybe you could mention a little bit about yourself, if you don't mind.
Really?
Besides being Brian Hoffman,
Oh, I was going to start with that.
More than it.
Brian Hoffman, we have lived in the same house on Pine Lane for close to 49 years. I've been fortunate to be in this town all of that time, raise our kids here, experience working with the schools, with various community groups, with committees for the town, and I'm absolutely overwhelmed with all of the folks who have done such incredible work to bring this to fruition. So it's a real pleasure to work with every single person who's involved with the 300th.
thank you, Brian. And now I officially call the meeting to order. And the first item on the business, I should say agenda, is to approve the minutes of our last meeting. Now those minutes were taking place prior to our open house. And I thought that the open house was terrific. We had more people than we normally have had, and it was a chance for us to not only talk to the people there, but to talk to the people that might be watching it on ECAT, to let them know that this celebration is going to happen, and it's going to be a giant celebration. And we expect that there will be activities for people of all ages. Diane, our secretary, do you have a copy of the minutes?
I did not bring a copy of the minutes, but I did send them out to the committee for approval, and I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion, a second by Dale. Any discussion? With no discussion on board, I ask all of our voting members to raise your right hand. And of course, we have a majority and a quorum. The motion is carried and the minutes are approved. The next item is a note from the chair. And I already explained some of the excitement that I see. And I'll tell you, I am blessed to have the committee that we have. Not only do they bake cookies for these meetings, but I'll tell you, they get things done. Whether it's the fundraising chair, the marketing chair, and I think I told you last time we met that someone said to me, Dave, not only do you have a giant big-time celebration coming in the town of Easton, but the marketing job is outstanding. It's very professional. Whether it be signs, whether it be the billboard that's going to be going up with lots of planning on what's going to go on the billboard every time it changes. Our brochures. We have talented people in the town that can actually come together and do things that have to be done. And of course, it's all free. Nobody here gets paid. We get paid by the generosity of the people that contribute to the cause. And I know that the volunteers make the thing exciting. And as I said to some people in town, this celebration is for all of us. It's not just for a committee that came together. And our meetings are gonna be larger, they're gonna have more people here, they're gonna have to be more chairs set up, because we're gonna have people coming here. We want everybody to know what each activity or event is about, so that you can share it. And we got a lot of people tonight that are gonna talk about some of their events. So I'm gonna be brief. We're starting the meeting at 7, we hope to end at 8:30. Dale, why don't you give your report as vice chair?
Yeah, just a couple of quick updates. I share the excitement, and I'll just give a couple of examples of what's going on the community organization outreach front. I spoke to Joe Peavy today, and Joe's sort of the community director for the town, has been extraordinarily helpful for us on the merchandise with the platform and so forth. But in addition, the actual first real event that's going to be taking place is earlier in the day of the New Year's Eve event. So the Council on Aging is putting on an event for our seniors where they're going to be doing a countdown to noon on December 31st to go over to Frothingham Hall. Expecting anywhere from 20 to 40 people over there. Joey Sheehan and her ukulele band will be there playing, and they've got all sorts of fun activities for the seniors. And Joe was asked, how would the Tricentennial Committee like to help? So if anybody's interested in helping out in that event, with sort of organizing and running some of the activities, I think they're already off and running. But that's going to be very exciting. In addition, he's also putting together a committee in town called the Shared Mission Committee, and it's basically intended to get everybody on the same page with respect to those who have some more challenges in life. And that can include ARC and House of Possibilities and CPAC and so forth. So they're forming a committee. I'm going to be serving as a representative on behalf of the Tricentennial Committee on that. They're going to be having a meeting up in November. And as part of that, we'll be reaching out to those folks of how can we make everything that we're doing more accessible. So whether it's on transportation for events or including folks who are helping to volunteer at our events. So I'm really, really excited about it. I think one of the sort of charter purposes of this, we talk about bringing family and communities together, and we can't forget our seniors and those who have additional challenges and everything. And very excited about the opportunity to work with those folks to help as we move forward on it. And separately, there's another activity that we're doing. We're trying to have a grassroots effort with respect to a lot of other events that are going to be going on during the year. 2 weeks ago, I had a conversation with a woman who's a descendant of Josiah Keith, who was the one who built the oldest house of Easton in 1717. It's on Bay Road, that mustard-colored house. As you're traveling on Bay Road, going from 106 towards 495, and the current owner of that, he owns it as the Josiah Keith Inn. And what we're thinking about doing is some sort of like a Founders Day activity there with a concert with some period music, and trying to reach out for those who are descendants of the 50 first families in Easton, because when Easton was first formed, it was formed in order to, they hadn't finally had enough people to have their own parish. And there's a listing of the family names and so forth. We see a lot of those names in the various cemeteries in town. So those are just two of the examples. One final comment, if I may. I bumped into a bunch of folks from Sharon recently, including two I just met who are now neighbors of mine who have moved from Sharon. You are a legend in Sharon, young man. We're extraordinarily fortunate to have you. From everybody I asked knows and is extraordinarily appreciative for all you did for Sharon, not just for their 250th, but for all the other activities. And we're quite fortunate to have you leading our efforts here. So that's my report. Thank you.
Thank you, and as I say many times, I'm as good as the people I surround myself with. And it takes a lot of people to make a celebration like this work. And all those little mistakes I might have made running the 250th in Sharon, I can correct those here in the Town of Easton. Next, we're going to go to the Secretary's report. It sounds like an easy job to be Secretary of a 300th anniversary celebration. But every time she and her partner take the minutes of the meeting, things have to be posted for all the meetings. And of course, it involves more than just sitting in meetings saying I'm the secretary. Go ahead, Diane.
Okay, well, that's what I do. I have posted all the agendas in the minutes that have been approved, and I monitor the Easton 300.2025.com email, and the P.O. Box 300, Easton 02334, post office box. And that's my job. Thank you, Dave. Thank you.
Anything you want to say, Roz?
No.
She's the secretary of the parade committee.
No, because unfortunately I was not able to go to the last meeting, but my friend Linda acted as secretary at the last meeting. But I know they've got several marching bands, and we've got the Clydesdales, the Shriners,
Well, we'll
and,
go over the parade when we, later on, rather than
okay
go through
then.
the whole thing, because there's a lot of exciting news coming up with the parade.
Can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
I'm going to say it anyway. I want to thank Roz, because everybody talks quickly, as we all do, and I take the notes. Roz takes the notes. I transcribe the notes. I give them to Roz. She looks at them and says, "You've got this, this, and this." Then we redo them, and we send them out. So I couldn't do without her. We
Yes,
do
you
it
could.
together.
We do it together.
Thank you, Roz.
And they're also
You're
neighbors.
welcome. Thank you. No, we're also friends.
We're neighbors and good friends.
Yes.
The next item I'm going to go to, and thank you, Roz and Diane, I'm going to go to our treasurer, and she has some things that she'd like to discuss with the committee. Thank you, Jeanette.
First up, let's take care of some business. Between the last meeting and this meeting, the chairman has approved a couple of invoices, so these will need to get into the minutes. One was for $168.88 for Ken, who had some printing done at Staples. $475 to print the trifold brochures. And then there's an expense for the kickoff, the costumes for the photo booth for the kickoff, and a rolling rack to hold merchandise. That is $237.34, and that's going to go to Anne Marie. And then the other thing we have to amend, we had approved an amount for the throw blankets. Ken ended up paying for them with his credit card, and there was a 3% surcharge. So we need to amend the amount that we approved for the throws to $2,555.38. And I'll email you, Diane, with all these numbers.
Thank you.
Are you looking for a motion to approve the invoices
Yes.
you just mentioned?
Yes.
So moved.
Altogether, a motion by Dale.
One more. Sorry. Oh, for the business cards.
Yeah.
And the pens.
Yeah.
$424.94.
So there's four in total.
Yep.
$424.90.
Does that include the amended one?
Five.
Pens and
Okay.
And the business cards.
We have a motion by Dale,
To approve all four of these invoices and the amendments to the prior invoice.
we have a second.
Second.
We have a second by Roz.
Get it done.
Any other discussion? Additions, subtractions?
Yes, I was just handed, late breaking news, I was just handed another one. $44.57 for sandbags and litter, is that what that says?
Well, I would say the sandbags.
Kitty litter. Oh,
The
kitty
weight-
litter
yeah, the
for
weights
the
for
camp,
the
for the
camp.
weights for the canopies, it can't just blows away.
So
And
we're
that's
paying
the
for
Karen.
litter?
Is that-
Yep.
I'm going to call
I
it
amend my
C
motion to include that invoice as well.
as well. Second.
Second.
We have a
Yep.
motion
Dale
to
made a
amend
motion.
the motion. Who made the second? Diane Lasati. Any discussion? Any more invoices? With that being said, would you raise your right hand?
57.
Voting members, if you approve the invoices, it's unanimous. And we'll move on.
Okay, I will bring you up to date on our financial situation. So far, we have received donations, flat out donations, this is in cash, in hand, $151,550. There's some interest income of $37.28, some merchandise sales, which the town has not updated their spreadsheet, so I know there's more than this, but $3,345. And the pole banners, $32,700 in the pole banners. And the pole banners are only gonna cost us about $13,000.
That's it.
Originally, we thought it'd be a $10,000 profit. It looks like a $20,000 profit.
So with the updated budget numbers for, and some of these are still estimates, we're looking at about $363,000 for the budget. For all the, for the 8 signature events and pole banners, security, the billboard, merchandise, the cookbook, signs, buses, et cetera, et cetera.
And our goal is going to increase. Remember, we're charging for some events. I think we're really talking about the gala. We have merchandise that is selling.
They sold $7,910.
Awesome.
How much did we sell?
We
$7,900.
sold $7,910.10.
Thank you.
That's terrific, and we haven't even reached 2025 yet. People are really getting into this. I'm going to ask my wife if she would come up and sit in this chair. You brought that folder back. I thank you, Linda.
I think she's happy.
Let's give Linda a round of applause. Of course, I'm going to hear more about this later.
Yes, I'm sure you will.
Yes, you will, more and more on that.
And rightfully so.
It's gonna happen.
The next report is fundraising. And again, we can't thank Courtney Pupkin enough for reaching her goal. I guess our goal has changed. We're heading towards 400. And again, we welcome people out there that would like to donate. Please keep in mind, folks, that some of our donors have made commitments. They're donating some monies in 2024, and when 2025 comes, they're going to do the rest of their pledge. So that's why we don't have it all in there yet, but it's going to happen, no doubt about it. The next item I'd like to do, and I know it's not on the agenda, but again, I wanted to welcome Courtney Palm, who's been doing the marketing responsibility at her bank for a number of years. And they, like a number of banks in our town, have been so generous with all kinds of things. And you were looking to have not just a donation, but you have volunteers from your bank that want to help with the art and culture. I'll let you speak.
No, we're just happy to be involved, and you know, we've been in Easton for a little over half of the 300 years. So we celebrated 160 years this year, and we you know, are just happy to participate, ready to get involved, and we're, you know, we'll definitely get some volunteers and whatever else we can do. So.
And thank you for your generosity.
Of course.
I'd also like to ask Craig Davidson, when I met with the superintendent, because of her busy schedule, she passed him over to me with the idea that we could get more young people involved in our celebration. And when Dale and I talked, we want to get more senior adults involved. We certainly don't want to forget those people that may have a disability. We want to make arrangements for them to enjoy their town as well. And we just had a brief meeting. He is coming to our meetings, and I thought it would be terrific. I don't know if you want to mention anything. It's kind of early in the stage, but we're going to come up with some sort of an agenda where we can involve young people. Anything you want to say?
You forced the hand with a hat and a sign, so I appreciate that. But we're excited to partner with you and your team to see what opportunities the school district could provide and support. So I'm really here to represent the schools and see how we can involve our students and staff in some of the events coming up in the next year. And Dave and I have already started some conversations around potential ideas that I'll bring to our team.
Terrific.
I also donated towards the purchase of some of the sales of some of the great items.
Nice job.
Well, thank you very much. And we'll be getting together, Craig, talking about ways that we can involve the young people. And again, I think I've said this many times, it sounds like it's 2.5 months away before the celebration begins. It's even less than that, folks. We have 5 meetings before we get to 2025. Doesn't that make it like it's right around the corner? And we have a lot of homework to do before we get to that stage. Our marketing chair, Mike Good, is not here tonight, but Mike is working with the billboard company out of Stoneham, Massachusetts, and they've agreed to do 2 changes, and there may be a possibility of doing 3 for the same price. They already cut off $5,000 on our expense, and their recommendation, because they do billboards all the time, is to keep the first display simple. When you ride by a billboard, you're usually in a vehicle, and all you can see is what the headline is. So we want to announce that the Town of Easton is celebrating its 300th anniversary. We can't put all the events on it. The first one's going to be kind of simple. There's going to be maybe the town seal, and maybe our logo, and maybe a few things all in large fonts. So when you ride by, you don't have to pull over with a magnifying glass to try to pick out what it says. And when I ride by the billboard right now over by Honeydew, you can see some of the small print. You can't see it unless you stop for donuts. But anyways, we thank Mike for the good thing he's doing, working on that. And guess what? The billboard goes up the first week in December. Guess what? All the pole banners go up the first week in December. So people think that, gee, you got a lot of signs up there. They haven't seen anything yet. They're going to really know. And some of them are going to go up 106. I got 4 more banners today. And if people are interested, I just want you to know that once these banners go up, the phone is going to ring off the hook. And there's going to be other people that want to do something similar. So we'll make sure that, and of course all of our major donors automatically have a banner, and it's going to be exciting. I've been to a couple of towns where they've had a celebration, and I purposely wanted to look at their banners if they had them. Not everybody had them. One community had white signs on it. You could hardly read it. You're not going to miss our signs, because they're bright, the orange and black, you know, the colors that the Tigers use here at Oliver Ames High School. The next item on the agenda was Ken Michael. Ken could not make it tonight. He very rarely misses a meeting. And Craig Badger, Select Board Representative, cannot be here, but he's handling the permits and the logistics. It seems like about everything we're doing needs a permit. It needs approval. And that's all, takes up a lot of time just to make sure all that stuff gets taken care of. We want to do everything above board. We want to do everything that's legal. And we're excited about it. Now, I'm going to go next to item number 7, the Easton 300 flag ceremony. That's scheduled on June 14th. That's going to be a big day in town. Not only do we have a flag ceremony going to take place at 4 p.m., we got a picnic at 5, family picnic. We got the concert from 7 to 9, and we got the fireworks going off at 9, all at the high school property. I'm going to pass it over to you. Adam Gunn, he's a barrel of energy, and he is excited about doing it. He's a veterans agent who really salutes the red, white, and blue, the American flag.
Thank you. Yes, my name is Adam Gunn. I'm very patriotic and veteran service officer in Abington. It's an honor to be able to take over this Flag Day at 4 o'clock. At 4 o'clock, we are going to open up the ceremony at the OAA Stadium. The opening remarks. Shortly after, we'll have a high school student, Karina Melody, who will sing the national anthem. We also going to have the Scouts with the Pledge of Allegiance. We don't have an exact time yet, but we do have a flyover confirmed from the Massachusetts State Police. We've requested the Massachusetts Executive Office of Veteran Services Secretary, John Santiago. We put a request into their office to be the guest speaker. Shortly after that, a gentleman by the name of Mark Valentine is going to hold a brief flag ceremony. This man travels the country, I believe it's since 1994. He has the largest collection of giant flags, American flags in the world. He has over 20 90-footers that have been going around the country. He's bringing 2 of those to the field. We're going to have 30 veterans surround that one flag on the field, and the other flag will be manned by the Lions Club. Mark Valentine will talk for approximately 5 minutes. We also have a Southeastern Massachusetts Community Concert Band. It's a 42-piece band, Armed Forces Melody. They're going to sit inside the stadium seating there and play. Outside of this, we're going to have a small veteran resource fair table outside. So we'll have a canopy set up with different tables. We'll have the Executive Office of Veteran Services with multiple tables here. We'll have Veterans Affairs here with multiple tables as well. And of course, Easton's Veterans Agent, Jason Snyder, will have a table there. So we can support him and take this event and hopefully use that to support other veterans in our community and make them aware of services that are available to them. We're also going to hand out, we have 560 small little hand flags, so everybody will be screaming patriotism. Simpson Springs is going to have 2 water stations set up. They're going to have a water stations band. Simpson Springs has also volunteered to create a Tricentennial Easton Simpson Springs water bottle and a label, and we're going to print about 1,000 of those to have for the flag ceremony, concert, and the fireworks, and then they're going to donate almost half of the, around 500 bottles also for the parade as well. So they're coming up with a special label.
Great.
And pending any questions, unless I'm missing anything, Paul, that's all I have.
I just wanted to add, Adam, that plans are being made and it looks like it's going to happen. We're going to have a flyover during the flag ceremony to salute all the veterans in the town of Easton. And it's the Massachusetts State Police Wing Division, and they also are going to fly over for our parade, which is scheduled for July 12th. It's exciting that we not only get a chance to salute our veterans, but we get a chance to salute the American flag. I've seen Mark, go ahead.
And then just one more thing, you know, I know it's during the summer and it's June, and high school students, we could probably get a few that could read maybe some poems they wrote, either regarding veterans or the American flag and what it means to them. Maybe have some student involvement to come follow the Secretary Santiago, and we present the flags, and then have some students who volunteer to possibly read some poems and work. Wonderful.
Excellent.
Terrific, good report, Adam, and thank you for your energy in pulling this together. And that's just an example of one event. That's prior to the fireworks, the picnic, the concert, entertainment will take place. And we certainly thank the Bank of Easton for sponsoring those. Although the fireworks are sponsored separately by Alex Pires, and we thank you, Alex, former resident here in the town of Easton for many years. The next item that I'd like to bring up is the Easton 300 Antique Car Show. Now, that's not in your brochure that you have, but there's going to be an insert that we're going to put in with all those other activities. Dale mentioned the New Year's Eve thing, the art festival, the Easton 300, Langwater Family Fun Day. That's something that will be very special as well. But we're expecting 300 vehicles. They just had a recent car show, and they had about 160, according to Dale Thistle, who coordinated that. He's going to coordinate it for us. But he's going to add a lot of things because it's the 300th anniversary. He's thinking about Easton 300 medals to give all the vehicles when they come in. And one of the motions that I'd like to have tonight, we did contribute to the Langwater event, and we wanted to do likewise with the Easton 300 car show. We thought that on that day, that's going to be October 11th in the morning. It's going to be from 9 to 2 p.m. And that evening's going to be the bonfire at the high school with a concert and a free barbecue. So we thank the Lions Club for putting that together, and we're excited about that as well. But we wanted to consider $1,000 towards the antique car show at Borland. I know that Jeanette, you're on that Friends of Borland. We gave them a banner. They decided to give us free parking for that day. Anyone that goes to the park for the car show, and it'll be exciting. Anything you'd like to say, Jeanette?
No, I think that would be terrific.
Yeah.
Dale works hard, not you, Dale, different Dale.
All Dale.
Well, the other Dale wanted to make it very clear that he does not eat cookies.
Don't wish to be confused, understandable.
Is it possible for me to find a motion?
So moved.
$1,000 to the Friends of Borland State Park to beef up their car show for our 300th anniversary. And we thank you all for your involvement with cars as well. Do we have a second on that motion?
Joan's already in on that one.
A second by Joan. Any discussion? How about you folks out in the audience now? All those in favor, raise your right hand.
Very good.
It's unanimous with the voting members. The motion is carried. And we will make sure. Okay, we're going to come to that. The next item on the agenda is going to be the Easton 300 Family Fun Day. I got to tell you that Karen and her husband have been very active coordinating this event with the folks at the farm. And this is going to be an exciting event. People love going there. Everything from hay wagon rides to all the things. I'll let you tell the story.
So on April 19th at Langwater Farm, there will be a family fun day from 10 to 2. There will be entertainment, face painting, and hay rides, potato sack races, a jumpy castle thing, and planting seeds because it will be the beginning of the spring there, so the kids will all get to plant some kind of seeds. They will also, there will be food for purchase there as well, but it should be a lot of fun. The face painters are one of the face painters that were at the music festival on September 22nd there, and that's how I found them. They do face painting of each kid in 3 minutes there, and they do an awesome job there, so I was very happy they were available. I would was there today, but Kim was not in to ask her about the banner, but I talked to someone over there and she said just email her and she didn't see a problem with it. To have the banner, Easton 300 at Langwater Family Fun Day, and that, can I say who, and Vertec was also sponsoring part of that as well.
Nice.
Vertec donated $4,000 to help sponsor the Family Fun Day. They also donated $6,000 to the Parade Committee to sponsor the Shriners. They bring a whole division, and they're terrific. They bring cars and trucks and buses, and it'll be terrific. They're a parade in itself. And you haven't heard the rest on the parade. There's enough fire engines to keep you detained for 45 minutes. But anyways, I'm going to go. Thank you very much. Anything else, Karen?
No.
The next item is the Art and Cultural Festival. I know that Joan and Diane are working on that. They're going to be ready to give a full report at the next meeting, but they're still pulling that together. We have a lot of artists in town. There's going to be everything from music to art and all the kind. Anything you want to add to?
I do.
Yeah.
And I want to start by what Dave said to me on Saturday when he saw me. And he said, make it exciting. So that's all I needed to hear. So I have some new ideas that I will share with you. We will make it exciting. But in January, we're going to do a call to artists. And we hope to attract 40 to 45 artists using the 2 floors of this beautiful building, have them displayed. And we, of course, will have merchandise for sale here. But one of the other things that we want to do, and this is what's holding up my budget, is we want to do a tasting of food. I don't want to call it Taste of Easton, but it's Taste of the Tricentennial from area supermarkets and restaurants that we will give out to the public. So that's a big piece of the budget, and I'm trying to pull that together. We're going to have music. It's going to be a beautiful day. Queeson House, the library, they're going to be very involved. Unity Church, it's National Tai Chi Day. We'll have a demonstration and classes in that. And then the Unity Church, after this event is over, is going to have a service, a beautiful service. As some of you have seen it online, Candlelight Boston. So the church will just be filled with candlelight, and it will be beautiful. So it's going to be very exciting, a great day, and that's all I have to say.
And you'll have music there as well.
Oh yeah, we have various music. We're going to have great, exciting music for you. That's going to be a surprise. Plus, we're going to have music inside, some classical music. We're going to involve the schools, and it's just going to be a great day. Thank you.
Terrific.
Good job.
And of course, I know you, Courtney, wanted to bring some of your staff in to participate as volunteers. And that'll be absolutely terrific.
I'm sorry, Dave, I'd be remiss if I didn't point out again, Northeastern Savings Bank very generously is sponsoring this event. And Courtney is going to bring some volunteers, which would be very much appreciated. Thank you.
Happy to help, yes.
Very good. Ken Wood has been an active volunteer on our committee. And he has a reputation here in the town of Easton of doing whatever needs to be done. He takes care of it. He's not only the volunteer coordinator for this exciting celebration, he takes care of little jobs that need to be done that become big jobs. And there's a way to put a sign on the ground, I found out. And I can tell which ones he put in because they're not wiggling, they're in there. And then I can tell which ones I put in that I had to go back and reset. But you had a couple of things you want to mention.
Okay, so this coming weekend on Sunday, there's going to be the Halloween parade in Easton, which we want to be part of the event next year too, in a larger way, in a different location possibly. And also the committee here, I've already spoke with them, they're going to have If anybody hasn't got any of the supplies that we're offering, they're gonna have a tent set up at the Halloween parade for anyone that wants to get any of the supplies, so, and give out information on the Centennial for the year. It's gonna be a lot younger group, and then so these are the people we wanna reach out to. The other thing is, oh yeah, so like I said, next year we wanna be involved with the event, so it'll be one of the ones on your list.
For the Halloween parade for 2025.
Yeah, I'm looking at a different location for bigger, in a cover of a big area.
All the kids are required to go in their colonial garb.
Yeah.
Could be fun.
Ken had a request that you and I dress in costume for the Halloween parade on
I
Sunday.
think I said yes.
With the wig? You'd with us wigs.
And also,
Yes, the wigs.
Wigs are very important.
also, Horan is gonna have a wagon, and I spoke to him last night. And if you want, we put some kids on that. They usually bring some on. If you got some of those signs, you put around your tent, so they can hold up. It's safer for them to be on the wagon doing it as you're going through the parade. So it's something to think about. And you can talk to Horan when he comes.
You know, they have child labor laws against this kind of thing.
And then the two marchers with their wigs on there with the band.
I like your thinking though.
I'd also like to mention that Ken is going to handle responsibility of.
We're gonna do merchandise booth on Sunday.
This Sunday?
Yeah, we're gonna have the merchant. Amanda said we're gonna have the merchandise booth.
Yeah, I spoke with her earlier tonight. Yeah.
What time is the parade starting? Do you know?
Well, it forms.
Set up at 2 o'clock. Starts at 4. Right?
Yeah, because you won't get into the area because it's so crowded. What we've got for the parade coming this year is Horan's coming, the Langwater's coming with their hay wagons for people to ride on.
What's the time again, Ken?
And it kicks off at 4 o'clock, but they're going to be at 3:30. We got Personal Best Karate coming in, and they're going to do a demo with the different age groups for kickoff for the parade.
So do you have, vendors will set up at 2, and do you have a map of, do you know where people will be, so we'll know where to stop?
Everybody's going to be where Doug King's property is. They have where the Y used to be, remember across the council and
On Barrows?
Yeah, on Barrow Street. Where we used to set up our tents. I've already talked to Doug King because there was a fence there and everything I spoke. And I got a clearance to set the tents up on the property for this event, so. And that's where your tent will be, all the tents will be right there and that's right together.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'll have it all marked out because we're
2 p.m.
setting it up on Saturday.
Okay, thank you.
Where the school is? Now it's an apartment building where that school is?
Yeah, it's an apartment building now.
Across the street.
And thank you, Ken, also for handling the responsibility of the review stand for the parade on July 12th. That's going to take place at DPW, the halfway point of the parade. And we have a bunch of people that are going to join us to decorate. We're going to have a sound system. We're going to have a DJ to play music. For the groups that come by that don't have music, we'll play it right at the review stand.
So I just want to mention that Kohano Trucking is going to supply all the trucks for all the events that we need them for this coming year.
Ken, for other folks who may not be aware, where would they look to find out more information about the parade? Is there any website information out there? How are you getting the word out?
It's on Easton Food website.
The Easton Food Pantry website?
Yeah, and on Facebook.
So if we want to help get the word out.
And also ECAT is handling it for me. They called me today, and you'll notice now for the rest of the week, no matter what show is on all 3 stations, you see the web going across there advertising it. And I've also on Facebook advertised that 2 people are going to be there too, so people can come up and have the products.
Anyways, again, we say to the folks out there watching, we're always looking for volunteers to join our committee. These are people who give their time, their talent, their ideas, their resources, and in some cases even their funds to make our dream come true, to celebrate 300 years of history here in the town of Easton. And I know we're all, particularly happy to be able to give back and to make this celebration work. It's a team effort. Let's talk about a proposal that we're going to review tonight. It's called the USA Cycling Bike Race. And we have a gentleman by the name of Jack Mowat who has done bike races in the past. He knows how to bring people together. He knows about the routes. He knows about the safety. He also knows that would have to involve the police in terms of security. And Jack, I know you passed out a flyer, but why don't you take it from here?
Okay, well,
If you could stand up just to, so the camera can get you on the air.
yes, well, we're proposing the event for whatever date we can come with. Actually, I want to introduce John. John is the promoter of the race. He's the president of Swansea Velo Bike Club, and he will fill in
For a date, we're still looking at the USAC schedule for New England to try not to compete with other races. I don't want to land on one of your dates and just see what's available out there for other promoters. That's what I'm waiting for a date for. I'm probably going to be looking at July and August because there's not a lot on the USAC schedule in the area.
Can you describe a little bit, what does this event look like? So it's a race, not a ride. It's not like a charity ride.
It's generally our races, it's not like a Tour de France race where it's like a point-to-point, 100-mile day or something like that. It's a criterium circuit race. It would generally, what we're proposing now is like a 1-mile loop. Races there'd be like 8 different categories of race throughout the day, from beginners to pro racers. Each race would range from 30 minutes for like beginners, or like a citizens novice race, to we'll have a juniors race, women's. The pros will probably race 90 minutes.
Now that I've heard more about it, I said I've done some charity rides before. I'm going to be on the sideline eating some donuts charity.
Yes, you do that well.
I know my place.
I know. Anyone ever seen the Tour de France? That's what you'll see. Riding real close, fast, tight corners, but, we have the logistics. I was going to have it out front here. 25 years ago, I put on a bike race, starting here and going down, taking a right on Oliver, right on Mechanic, up Sullivan Ave, and around. But since then, with the shovel shop apartments, it's just going to be, logistically, it'd be hard to do. So then came up with the course would be in the school complex. And there's maps going around here that.
But it basically goes around the whole complex of the school, the outer road. With that type of course, we need less police detail, and it would be less strain on volunteers throughout the day. My club would provide most of the volunteers needed, required.
As far as the committee, we actually put down a name, but that's not carved in stone. This Easton Tricentennial Grand Prix.
I like it.
I
think it's cool.
Then if the committee could help with the advertising and securing the police and the ambulance and food trucks.
Through USA Cycling, we'd apply for a permit for USA Cycling. They provide the town, or whatever, like sponsors get involved with up to $2 million of insurance. Each registered racer is covered by that same policy. We'd have an announcer, we'd have music throughout the day. There'd be officials from USA Cycling to make sure we're running a fair race, to keep things safe for people and kids. There'd be a pace car in front of each field. Once the date is selected, racers will find the race on Bike Reg, which is like a website that lists, it's like basically a racing calendar for whatever area you want to look at, whatever discipline you're looking at. We can list sponsors on the listing and whatever need to be, whatever details that need to be put there. We provide a mechanic for racers, basically that's a racer benefit.
How many riders do you think you do typically?
Usually we get about 250.
And this could be something that would draw people in to come.
Yeah,
watch
we generally get
as well,
people
right?
from like within 2 to 3 hours away.
Yeah, 'cause this probably was 25 years ago, last time any Easton saw anything like
I've
this.
had
It's
riders
exciting.
in that race
Yeah, it is.
25 years ago. He came from Ireland not to do that. He probably was visiting a friend.
Yeah.
Sounds like
But
what Brian does.
do this race. But
Only much longer.
it's quite exciting.
It is.
And
Yeah, it'd be a lot of fun, something very different for
It's
the
very
town.
different.
Oh, yeah.
You could have a division for those, the ones with the huge wheel, the small wheels.
We'd have a little kid race.
I was actually on a ride last week. I was talking about the opportunity we have here, and one of the races I currently promote in at Nenegrit Park in Charleston. He was the promoter of that race for 17 years, and he's since passed it on to my club. And he says, I mentioned it. He says, "Oh, I remember that race," and that was the one Jack was talking about when it went around the center of town.
Well, Jack, my suggestion is
I have a question.
maybe Dale and I could sit down with you and your team. And there's a lot of things we got to talk about. Number one, a sponsor.
Yeah.
Number two, security, road guides, all that kind of stuff. You guys have done this before, so you have an idea what we're talking about. And then I'd like to get our full committee, a lot of people on here this evening, to be able to vote to make it official.
Okay.
Tonight, you're given a brief introduction,
Sure.
and it's a chance for us to think about it. But, you know, in terms of the route and streets that have to be blocked off, the chief would have to be involved, our police chief. So why don't we, after the meeting, try to come up with a date, just to talk about it and see what the possibilities are. We have asked as a committee to the folks out there that are in our community, if you have some ideas about an event, please approach us, and that's exactly what you did, Jack, and we appreciate that. But it's also going to involve a sponsor to be able to help us pay the bill.
That was my question. My question is, do we obtain the sponsor for your...
So the biggest, so the last 3 years, I've promoted 4 races in Nenegrit Park in Charleston, which is, it's just like a state park, and it has a closed bicycle race course.
Okay.
So I don't need corner marshals, I don't need police detail, I just get the park. Before that, in 2017 to 19, I did the same type of race at the industrial park in Fall River Criterion. That required police detail. That's the biggest expense
We know.
of the day. Generally, the entry fees that we charge for the race pays for everything else. They pay for like the timing, because I have to pay a timing service. I have to pay USA Cycling, that's a big part of it, but generally everything else gets covered.
Okay.
The biggest expense is probably the police detail.
Okay, thank you.
And here we have three police officers.
At least there's 3 spots that we would need that for.
Yeah.
Those are recommendations we'll have to make to the chief, but usually
Yeah.
the chief has the final say on, just like he did for all of our events, how many officers we have to have at each event. But we'll get together after the meeting, Jack, and we'll set up a meeting where we can discuss the possibilities. And this is a start, and it might be a nice addition.
I like it.
We just want to make
I think
sure
it would be great.
that we put it together, that it's going to be safe, and it's something different. And I know we don't have anything planned in August, so that's maybe a date that you might consider. Anyways, any other questions we'd like to ask? Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, what is the typical entrance fee that somebody would pay to participate?
$40 to $50.
And are there prizes and categories?
The pros will get like $1,000 prize purse.
Okay, so that would be typically part of the sponsorship money then?
That would be part of the entry fee.
Okay, so that would be.
Unless, like, if we can find a big sponsor or something,
Okay.
and there's more money, because I feel that back in the day, we used to pay everybody, like everybody got money, but road bicycle racing has declined in the United States since, I don't know, the last 10, 15 years, so it's not quite as popular. A lot of it is due to road closures being more expensive and all kinds of insurance. Town's not letting people do stuff. To try and make it not charge exorbitant amounts of entry fees, we're paying less of the entrance. And more, it's like the pro field, that's what we focus on. And everybody's just excited to race their bike, you know.
So the main prize is $1,000.
So
Do you want to get my bike out of the basement?
Under the bed.
Yeah, you can ride around the complex
Yes,
and
we thank you
practice.
and your team for coming together tonight to talk about
Sounds
this.
great.
And
Sounds really
we'll have to do some homework behind the scenes and then come back.
Understandable.
Let's put our hands together and thank you.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda, I'm going to ask Sally and Dale. One of the things that we're hoping we can do is to put a community calendar together. And that calendar will go in our anniversary book. And it's not only going to list our signature events, it's going to list all the events that we added to the list. It's going to list all of the events that have been going on for years that are annual events. And to be able to get everybody to beef up all the things that they've done for years and make it a very special 300 years to celebrate. Go ahead, Sally. Dale.
Well, I don't know if you saw the spreadsheet that
I did, yes, thank you. Go right ahead.
So just sort of a starting point, putting together a spreadsheet, just to start tracking everything. And then I made a list of just the communities, some of the nonprofits in the community that might potentially have something that would go on the calendar. So that's my starting point. And we also have, all the names of most of the names of the nonprofits in town.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of outreach to a lot of the community organizations for their events that they may already typically have, or new events that they're going to do for the Tricentennial, but by which either event they'd be partnering with the Tricentennial on that. And so as we move through the fall, we're looking to do a more systemic outreach to all those community organizations to make sure we're capturing all of those other events that would appear on the calendar. So the idea is that we would be putting this in some type of appropriate kind of graphic format for people to easily see on the website. So it would be something that would be evolving throughout the year, and then it would appear in the anniversary book by the end of the year.
That's terrific. And I'm just wondering if there are folks out there that have been involved with community calendars, whether they could be from the library or what have you, to help. Maybe somebody's putting something together that we can join in and share.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Sally, and keep us posted, Dale. The next item on the agenda, Anne Marie and Amanda. They've been with us since the very beginning. I don't know how they do everything they do.
I don't know how
And
she
in
does it.
between having a baby, moving into a new house, all that stuff that,
And baking cookies and
and Anne Marie's
pastries.
like a full-time job.
It's unbelievable.
Even her husband is working part-time. Transporting, putting up tents and all the stuff that we have. And I know that, you know that, Brian, the work that they've done, it's been
It's absolutely
outstanding.
staggering.
And in between
I'm
all
glad Rob's
that,
involved too.
That's a
He
good
should be
word.
in between all
I'm
that,
glad you got Rob involved. He needs to work on it, yeah.
let's welcome Fred Ames.
That's what he came for.
Came for the
That's what he
cookies.
came for, the cookies.
Sell
Exactly.
those cookies at the table. That's what they do in Dale's stomach.
Less for
Anyways, I did want to say that both Anne Marie and Amanda,
Thank you.
that's not enough selling all this merchandise.
It's amazing.
When they first brought this up,
We know
they were
it was-
talking about this kind of a glass and that kind of a glass. We were adding the numbers in our head, and we were all wondering, why are we buying all that stuff? Fact is, they're selling it, and it's working. And in between all that, they're co-coordinating the kickoff event scheduled on January 4th at Stonehill College. And of course, they're doing the final event with a bunch of us coming forward to help them, the gala event at Stonehill College. So we're going to start and finish at Stonehill, and we appreciate all the efforts. And I know Dale and I, in our leadership role, we're concerned about the first event right now, which is the kickoff event, and we're concerned about the second event, the Art and Cultural Festival, because they're coming up the first two things.
I would use a different word, I would not use concern.
Yeah.
Because we know both are in such good hands, I would say we're focused on, and the idea is like, what can we do as a committee, what can we do as a town to help get the word out, to make these things, you know, as incredible as they've been planned to be. And I think for both of these are gonna be phenomenal. So the idea being with all of this work that's going into putting these events on, what can we do to help get the word out to everybody, and first focusing on the January 4th event. So I think we should all be giving some thought to that.
Well said.
I did reach out to Casey today just to check in. She was doing posters for all individual event posters and flyers. So I'm waiting to hear back from her on that. So at least we should have a flyer hopefully this week for the January 4th event to post on social media soon. So at
We
least
need
can
some
start there.
really good marketing on a good schedule for the kickoff event. We need somebody who can really boost those posts, get them out, get them everywhere 3 times a week, and then everybody here to share it and ask people to share it, but we really need a really good marketing strategy. As far as we're concerned for the kickoff, we're just tying up loose ends. Everything is done. After we have a meeting tomorrow, we will have a list of how many volunteers we need, Ken. So we'll be presenting that. We'll send an email to you, Dave, because we know we're in the position. And then we need staff shirts for that. That's coming up really quickly, so we need to order some staff or volunteer shirts for that. But other than that, the kickoff is in great to go, other than we need to get the word out through marketing.
Yeah, and my thinking on this is that while we've been focused on getting the word out generally for all of our signature events, I think now is the time to shift and focus on an event-by-event basis, and really over the next several months, focus on that, including also promoting for the New Year's Eve concert events and so forth in the January 4th event. But I think that's where we really need to focus on. You know, we've got a lot of things coming up later in the year and everything, but let's just get the word out on this event in particular, and then just kind of roll from there.
Yes. So Casey is making everything to get ready. We just have to make sure it's properly marketed. We were going to maybe see if Casey could come on board, if Ken would lend her to us, because she's so good at marketing, and put that just right on the schedule, that it goes up 3 days a week on Mom's Club, everything Easton, all the sites, the website, everything. So
Maybe we
then-
can connect her with Mike and, you know, between the two. right?
Yeah, I think he wants that.
Okay.
And Mike, yeah.
Thank you very much. Anything you want to say? You had your hand up. Go ahead, Joan.
No, I was just going to say in conjunction with the first event, Oaks Ames Hall on New Year's Eve, Dale mentioned we're having a New Year's Eve concert and party, and we kind of want to pregame what's happening on January 4th. So you and Dale hopefully will be there, say a few words, but what we want to do is have all the participants, it's a ticketed event, receive a wine glass and corkscrew, and we'll get the excitement and announce the January 4th event and the whole year of events coming up.
Yeah, and we're already on the wine glass thing, so we're gonna actually, I
Good.
think you already sent, Amanda already sent an email to Brian.
I did.
Yep, I sent her
Should we appro-
Okay. Thank you both very much.
Did we say that's
The
what we're
next
going
item on
to
the
do?
agenda.
Dave, before
Yes.
we move ahead, and I appreciate what you said about me understanding what Amanda and Anne Marie have. It's almost impossible to have the townsfolk understand the value and the incredible efficiency and creativity that they have done all this work with. So I do this for a living with clients all over the region. I wish every one of my clients had half the expertise and half the teamwork that the two of them have shown.
Tremendous.
So they have done amazing things.
Yes, they have.
It's staggering just to see what has taken shape and what they're prepared to do going forward through all of the events. So from the outside looking in, it's fabulous.
Yeah. Dave, I have a question.
Yes,
Is this technically a new Tricentennial event that we have to approve?
You say this meeting, which?
Meaning the New Year's Eve?
No, that's the
hall.
No, okay, it's a hall event, but as far as giving the wine glasses, should we just approve the amount and how many and, you know what I mean? We should.
Yeah, well, we don't have the price on it yet, so we can't approve.
Yeah, but I mean.
We'll get it quick.
Approve the concept of giving it away is my thought.
Isn't that in your ticket price?
I'm sorry?
Are we providing those, or are they gonna be, you're buying them in your ticket price? Is how
No,
we-
we'll have a budget, Dave and I talked about that,
Yeah,
so we'll
okay.
just come up with a price.
So we have to make a motion and approve a budget then?
But I think we'd really maybe the next meeting. Right?
At the next meeting, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I approve, I'm just saying, we should do it officially, so we have it on
Yeah.
record, right? Okay.
The next item on the agenda is the Easton 300 picnic concert entertainment activities. That's all on June 14th. Our coordinator, Jessica Zimmerman, is not here tonight. She's coordinating the picnic. Adam is coordinating the flag ceremony. And of course, our chief of the fire department, Justin Alexander, is coordinating the fireworks. We couldn't ask a better guy to do that, to keep it safe for all of us. But that's going to be on the agenda for the next meeting. And I'm excited about what the plan is. But we still have some homework to do. I'm talking about food trucks. I'm talking about portable toilets. It's all those little things that still have to be taken care of that are all part of the celebration. And I know we're going to have food trucks on fireworks night. We probably will have lots of non-residents, so it's not a total giveaway. We're going to have people pay for some of the food that they eat. But I think we've come pretty close to the end of the meeting.
I have one thing, Dave.
Go ahead.
Roz Miller, I and Linda Clifton did an event at Queeset House on Saturday. The Friends of the Library had their book sale. And we had the rollout of the cookbooks, and it was very successful.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. I'll talk to Amanda, I'm not sure exactly how many we sold, if you can tell. But it was fun, and they want us to come back next year for
Oh,
their
they
next
do?
one, which will be in April, yeah.
Oh, great.
Just want you to know, folks, it takes a lot of work to set up a tent and sell merchandise. We're always looking. I know I did the Portland State Park thing, and it's a lot to put up by yourself.
Yeah, in the winter.
And I can imagine people out there all the time selling merchandise, which goes back to the celebration. So, anything you'd like to say before we close our meeting? I'm asking Al, one of the youngest members here at our meeting tonight. How do you feel about this celebration coming
I
up?
think it's great. I think we got a lot of problems, so. He's laughing, but we have.
Yeah.
We got a big situation on the parade itself. Kenny and I, you know, we've got a big situation here.
What? What is it?
Parking, we need what Dale said about buses. We got a cost there, there's a big cost there, we need probably 12, 15 buses.
No cost.
There's
Well,
four-
we load and unload, we gotta do a lot of thinking on this.
There's 4 topics that are gonna come up at the parade meeting.
Yeah.
But I gotta tell you, the good news about the parade is that it's really mushrooming. The plan right now is 5 drum bugle corps and bands. Many different towns participating with all the fire apparatus. We have the Shriners, we have the Sheriff's Office, another division. We're going to have a lot of community spirit and hopefully get some students involved with us. Everything from the senior bus to veterans to horses to bicycles, the list goes on and on. Antique cars. It's going to be a giant parade.
Well, the club that I belong to, we're gonna help Dale, as you know.
Yeah.
So, things will work out.
And some of those other things that have to be taken care of, the parking issues, there's going to be separate meetings to make sure we bring that stuff up to date. I'd like to also ask a new member who joined us tonight, any comment you'd like to make regarding our celebration?
It's kind of overwhelming the first time around. I did have a thought on food trucks. I have a daughter that lives in Wareham, part of the Eagles organization there. She's just getting ready to move to Florida. But the past couple of years, she has run a canal walk down on the canal to raise funds for the Eagles and their functions. Andruzzi, the football player, was down there. And she coordinates all the food trucks and everything. My question to you is, do you have specific food trucks in mind? Are there a number of times that you need them, like a schedule for so many? I could talk to her and pull her expertise out.
Right now, we're thinking of 3 different events. And we'd like to be consistent and have the same folks. And we know that there's some people in Easton that also have food trucks. But we're going to work on that. You give me your card after the meeting,
okay,
and we'll talk. Any other comments that anybody'd like to make? I think we're just on time. Any comment you'd like to make?
Yes.
Honorary co-chair, he and his brother. His name is Fred.
Bill could not make it, sends his regrets. And I was talking upstairs, and in 1925, there was a play upstairs about the founding of Easton. And I thought that might be something to consider for your event, the cultural thing, to reprise that. So that's my thought. But everything seems to be going fantastic. Thanks to you.
Thanks to our committee, and of course, theater is all part of our celebration. Southeast Regional Vocational Technical High School is letting us use their facility. We just have to come up with a date and some sort of a production. But I like the idea of doing it here as another opportunity. Portland State Park also wants to open up their doors at the mansion. This is moving like wildfire, and I think I've said enough. I thank you all for being here tonight. I want to certainly express our appreciation on behalf of all of our folks here tonight to ECAT, Easton Community Access Television, for not just covering our meetings and all town board meetings, but you're also covering all of our events throughout the year 2025. How lucky we are to live in the town of Easton and to have people that come forward to share their time and talent. I thank you all for being here, and we look forward to our next 2 meetings. We have Election Day coming up, and Roz, you have a final comment?
One comment about Al. So Southeast Regional is loaning us the buses, right?
We're going to pay the drivers.
That's all we have to do is pay the drivers. We don't have to pay for the buses.
Right now, when I called them, they have 3 buses. I thought they had a whole fleet, but they aren't. They're owned by that transportation company, and they want $100 of it.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
we're gonna work with them, and they're hoping to have the 5th one coming in, so for the...
Okay, folks, do we have a motion to adjourn? A motion by Dale, do we have a second? This motion carried.
Mention.
Thank you all for joining us.
Yeah, tell Dan. Okay. Brian Hoffman knows the